Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jarissa Rain, aka Riri, and today's video is going to be the long overdue, long awaited, I'm always late to the party, first impressions / review of the Believe Beauty Foundation. Of course I'm late, but I wanted to try this pretty much since it came out, and I finally went out today. I had to pick up my mom, so I went by the little Dollar General, and the little stand, I will say, was quite aesthetically pleasing. They had a lot to choose from. So I am planning, if y'all want to see it too, if I like this, if I like this, then I think I'm going to do a full face of Believe Beauty. They had really beautiful things, and they had everything, you know, eyeshadows, primers, lips, you know, everything. So before we hop in, we are going to learn a little bit more about this cult classic of Believe Beauty Foundation. Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation comes in 11 shades. It is a medium to full coverage foundation that blends effortlessly for a flawless look. Its blendable formula blurs imperfections while smoothing your skin. It retails for $5 and is made in Germany. Alright, so I hope that you learn a little bit more about the Believe Beauty Foundation. I'm going to try, especially with foundation, you know, kind of first impressions and reviews, I'm really going to try to put extra information out there because I know that this is something that's a more personal choice for us. I mean, kind of, you know, an eyeshadow is an eyeshadow, you know, anybody can go buy them, but a foundation is, I think, super personal. You know, if you have, you know, aged skin, mature skin, oily skin, dry skin, etc., it can definitely vary in how you use your foundations and what types of foundations you use. So I want to be just a little bit more thorough. I did grab the shade Cashmere, and they are made in Germany, as you would have already heard. So I hope that this works. I will say very first impression, the stand and the display was gorgeous. They had a lot to choose from, and the packaging looks very nice, very luxe. It is glass. I do like how this is kind of like, you know, angled and stuff like that. So we are going to get this little sticker off of here. And of course, for $5, you know, if we could spend $5, y'all, instead of $39 on a foundation, mama is game for that. Okay, so let me get that shaken up and ready to roll. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. Y'all know that I have been really enjoying this lately. And I like to kind of press it in here pretty thick to start with. This is the area of my skin, my complexion, that is more dry. You can see that I have a lot of dryness around my nose. But it's where I'm really dry at. I have a lot of texture and stuff like that. So I really kind of push it into these areas as opposed to literally just kind of slapping it on. But I really have been enjoying this a whole lot. I think I'm going to really like it for summertime, especially with that new Nomad blush, like this, the glowy with the glowy. It's so beautiful. And if you did not see that little kind of first impressions of me testing out a couple of Nomad products, I will try to remember to link it right here. But that blush, you guys, is like $17. They always have discount codes and stuff like that. And it is a spot-on dupe for the NARS Orgasm Blush. Okay, wink, wink. But it's better. Just saying. But yeah, so I'm gonna put this on, and you guys know I like to do half my face first, and excuse the brows. Look at them brows, y'all. Y'all know I'm growing them out, so I honestly just don't care about them right now, okay? So now that they're kind of, well, it's kind of pressed into the skin well, I'm good to go on that. But I always do half my face. I will get up close and personal and show y'all the difference with half of my skin and the other half. This is a medium to full coverage foundation. You guys already know that I don't always use a full coverage. So I'm probably not going to layer it up too much. That's just not my vibe. I'm looking more for longevity. How does it blend out? Does it have a strong scent? Is it perfumed? Does it cover up things that I want it to cover up? You know, those kinds of things. So we're gonna dive in. Oh, pretty! I haven't even opened it yet. So it has like a cool little gold cap. Again, it feels very nice. It feels very luxe. Does not feel like a $5 foundation off the bat. So let's see how long it only took 2 pumps to prime it. I think I'm gonna go into 3 pumps on the back of my hand, and we'll kind of see where we land. And I'm going to go in. I always keep it on the back of my hand and just kind of lightly pick up a little bit at a time. I like to use a kabuki brush. You can use a sponge, use whatever you may have that you like. I did get a shade that I hope will be okay for summertime. If I like it, probably not. Oh well. But you guys know I like to stipple on the areas that I really need it. And kind of push it in. This is actually a little bit pinky to me. Ugh, I'm scared. We won't worry about the shade though. We're going to worry about the performance, how it looks, how it blends out. I actually don't smell anything at all, which I'm very surprised by. Like even with, you know, the Wet n Wild foundation, the e.l.f. one that I really, really love, they typically are pretty heavily scented. And I don't always mind that as long as it's not too overly scented. So I think that it has pretty coverage. It is blending out really nicely. I definitely will say it is medium coverage. Thank God. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be too full coverage. I know that you can build it up. I think I will try to build it just right through here. And we'll see how it compares to the side that does not have any product on it yet. It feels really nice. It feels really light. It is blending out really well. I don't see any settling as of yet. And then I just kind of take the residual and go on the ears, behind the neck. I really like to do that because we always kind of focus on ourselves from kind of face on, but then we'll take a picture and we turn to the side and then people are like, honey, we can see what you got going on. So, you know, don't neglect the rest of your face and your neck. So yeah, it's blending out really beautifully. I do, again, like that it does not have a scent. The packaging was nice. Ignore this area right here. We're not even going to focus on that because I have very dry skin right there. Like it's peeling. So we obviously won't be judging that area of my skin. All right. I'm not going to go in with concealer. I'm literally just going to let this be a foundation day. Get it up into the hairline. It's looking really beautiful. I don't know if it's going to dry more matte than what it is right now. Right now, I do like the coverage. I do like that it has a slight satin quality to it. So let's get up close and personal. Okay. Before. And after. Again, we're gonna ignore that, okay? Mama can't help that. So yeah, I like it. I think it's really beautiful. I don't see anything settling just yet. And we'll see in the next few minutes if this side starts to kind of dry down a little bit more. I hardly used any. So I will go back in. Again, we're going to stipple and lay down the majority of the product. Yeah, this is a little too pinky. I like to go, obviously, more warm. But it's okay. I think it's just fine. But I like to stipple in the areas that I actually need it. I am not a fan. You guys know I'm a less is more. I'm basic. I'm that basic bitch. Okay, y'all be clocking me, but it's okay. I only put product where I need it. And that's just how I feel. I also feel like your makeup kind of wears a little bit better that way too. You know, whereas if I'm piling on a shit ton of product right here on my forehead, I don't need it. I don't need the coverage there. All it's going to do for me is start to become uncomfortable. You know, it's going to, you know, my natural oils are going to peek through, or it's just going to feel heavy, or, I mean, I am a firm believer in less is more, especially as we age. Now, if you're 25 and you have, you know, perfect skin still and, you know, no large pores and no wrinkles, then you do you. This is just my personal preference, and nobody's way is wrong. You know, if I take 2 lefts and a right to get to the store and you go the opposite direction and we get there 5 minutes faster or slower, we still reach that same destination. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, just because I do something differently doesn't mean that it's wrong. I have a preferred method, things that work for my skin, and I like what I do, and that's totally fine with me. Yeah, I like this. Am I going to say it's like the absolute best thing I've ever put on my face upon first application? No, I don't understand the, you know, the massive level of hype. You know, although for $5, okay, you know, I can kind of see it. And excuse this little bow, y'all. I normally, if I wear my bows, I put 2 right here. But my bangs are growing out and they look a hot mess, so they ain't staying up. I'm going to take literally, there's next to nothing on here. I'm going to pick up the last little residual amount and just kind of buff it around where maybe I might need it. And again, you know, I think that you could probably build this up more. I did build it up a little bit more on this side where I kind of needed it. And then I'm going to go through and just smooth everything out. Yeah, so far so good. So far I think it's really, really pretty. It does have really beautiful coverage without being too much, which is what I like. I don't see any redness. I don't see any acne scarring or anything like that kind of peeking through. So I'm going to spray my skin and press everything in, which is something I always do. I'm going to go into my Skin & Co. Truffle Therapy Spray. And then we're just going to press it out. And again, this is what I do every single time. And then I will come back in a few hours. We will do a wear test. We will see how it looks by the end of the night. But so far, so good. I do definitely see that it is starting, even putting spray on it, it has started to kind of settle down more and kind of sink into the skin more, and it has mattified a little bit more on this side. And I am not going to powder or anything like that. If I was doing, you know, any kind of concealer, I would just powder the concealer areas. But yeah, so far so good. It feels light, no scent, for $5. So far so good. So I will be back in a few hours. We will do a wear test, and check what's going on. All right, beauties, we are back. It is 10:37 p.m. I put this on at 6:13, so it's only been 4.5 hours, but it's getting late and I'm ready to go wash my face. Final thoughts, and again, I will test this again and let you guys kind of know. I try to test complexion products a few times. Sometimes they work differently with different primers, different sprays, powders, etc. I will say it definitely mattified. It is very matte. Like, there is no shine on this face, honey. Okay. Which, if you have oily skin or normal skin, could be perfect for you. You guys know I have very, very dry skin. I will say also that it did settle quite a bit. I did not powder though. It did settle quite a bit underneath my eyes and right here in my little crow's feet, whatever these little things are. But right here, you can see that it settled right in there and just around here. Ignore again the dryness around my nose. I think it's beautiful. I think the coverage is really nice. It doesn't feel thick. It doesn't feel heavy, sticky, nothing like that. It did dry down completely matte. I think if you have normal to oily skin, you're gonna love, and I can see the hype, especially for $5. I will say for my dry skin beauties, my more mature beauties, I think that if I were to have done an oil prior to putting this on or set it with a luminous or dewy setting spray, it would be perfection. Again, it's just a little too matte for my preferences. And I, of course, would have set it under here with just a little bit of powder. I don't mind some creasing and it's not horrible. I definitely would recommend it. I think especially if you have normal to oily skin, I think you're going to absolutely love it. Again, I will say the bottle it seems very luxe. This does not look like a $5 foundation. Again, even having like the pump and stuff like that, it feels weighty. It has a really good amount of weight to it. So I definitely think it's worth the $5. It is 25 mil, not 30 mil. So that's something to take into consideration. But considering the typical kind of higher end foundation is $35+, I would definitely use this. I'll continue to use it. I'll try it out a little bit more. But I do understand the hype. I definitely think it is a beautiful foundation. The coverage is nice. It feels nice on the skin. I don't feel like I have a heavy, thick mask or anything like that. So I would give it 4 yellow hearts out of 5. Only because it's a little bit drying. But again, obviously I know that I have dry skin. So, but I did want to test it anyway. I've definitely seen so many people use this, bigger YouTubers and some of my beauty family YouTubers as well. So I like it. I am going to definitely try it again and kind of set under the eyes. So it gets 4 yellow hearts from Riri, and that is it. Thank you, beauty, so much for joining me. If you have not already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you be part of my beauty family here on YouTube and be your own best beautiful. Bye, beauties. Hey, beauties, and welcome back to my channel.